Trying the factions again. I know. You guys are probably thinking, your SLs fit great. Why do you keep trying the factions? Because I really like them. I like the way they feel to do tricks, but the foot pain is just so annoying. Today, I put the original liners back in. I put a dead shock absorber underneath the liner, and I put the half insole that comes with the factions inside the liner. And then I wore them for like an hour and skated around my garage and house, just wore them and tried to see if I could induce any pain, and they felt amazing the whole time. So I know last time I used my factions, I had a sneaking suspicion that the reason why I was getting foot pain was mostly because of the shock going to my feet from the carbon shells. It's going to hurt again if that's the case, most likely, unless the dead shock absorbers make a huge difference, but they're not that big. So we will see. I've used these in here before, but not in this exact configuration. I also changed my lacing up a little bit. I basically did everything I could to maximize the height of the toe box. The width is fine. Surprisingly, in the factions, they're plenty wide, but the height can dig into the top of my toes depending on the liner. In the stock liner, it's not too bad though. I don't remember that being a huge issue. I actually think the last time I had my factions feeling pretty good, right before I got my SLs, is a configuration very similar to this. Got the factions on. We're gonna go wax up the box and get skating. See you guys out there. Hopefully everything looks pretty good. We're running on autofocus, everything else manual. I think I'm starting to have a really good understanding of the settings. We are recording at 60 frames this time, and these factions feel really good today. One thing I like about the factions is the sole plates are really fast, noticeably faster than the SLs, I think, even the one-piece soles. Also, since the sole plates are a bit wider, it makes it easier to slip out like I just did, because technically your frame is like a little bit farther away from the center of the obstacle. Does that make sense? They definitely feel like they skate a lot more flat than the SLs, because the SLs have that huge shock absorber that just fits perfectly in the boot. Makes it feel like a raised heel boot, which I think I like. There we go. I'm rocking the Kaiser Fluid 4 frames. Got too low. Now that I'm conscious of the shock coming through my feet when I land, I can definitely feel it. Also, that noise you hear in the background is not hissing from the mic. I believe it's the noise from the cicada killers. It's a type of bug. Or those might be the cicadas themselves. I don't know. But there's a bug around here that around this time of year, it just makes this terrible noise. That felt almost comical. Starting to get a little bit of pain in my right foot in the arc area. They were feeling absolutely great before that. Woo! All right, we got this. Let's get it. I think that was locked in. Nice. I gotta take that to fakie. All right, I'm moving on. Top size and the regular foot. Woo! Right across the top. I didn't commit to getting on top. I was thinking bad thoughts on the way up. Come on, we got this. Stick it all the way through. Knees nice and bent. Do better than that. Gotta stop bending forward on the landing. Hideous. All right, I gotta do some top soles. That was something. I'm not committing to getting right on top like I need to. All right, we got this. Nice. Beautiful. Woo! Let's go. I don't think I got fully locked in. Woo! Those feel good. Let's get this back far. That's so scary. Gotta bend those knees. There it is. All right, I'm gonna try to full squat like I do on P-Stars. I keep getting a floater on my right eye that floats right into my vision as I pull up. That's annoying. The anti-rockers are set a little bit lower on the Kaiser Fluid 4s, so they scrape more. Can be good or a bad thing. See what I mean about it being a bad thing? They touch down too early. It's good for ledges, but for coping boxes, it feels weird. God damn, that's rough. Gotta wax the deck. And my anti-rockers are rubbing against. I either need smaller anti-rockers, which is probably the better thing, or bigger wheels. Actually, that wouldn't make a difference. Just smaller anti-rockers. Woo! That was a perfect royale. Damn wheel bite. It counts, just barely. The toes of my left foot just fell asleep, so that's not good. My reaction time is slow right now. Of course, we got to take one shinner. I'm getting tired and my efforts are getting less and less fruitful. I'll see you guys over there. All right, so right off the bat, I will say that the factions do feel better than they have been the last couple times I used them. The stock liners are definitely the way to go. After about, I'd say about 25-30 minutes, my arcs started to get a little sore and a little painful, but that never got any worse, and it seems to actually have gotten better throughout the session. But probably around 40 minutes in, my toes started falling asleep. That's always been the big issue with these, is my toes. So maybe I need to like put a baseball in the front of the toe box just to make it as tall as possible, because what it feels like is the front of my factions right above the toe pushing down into my toes, because I have a really tall foot. But I did basically every single one of my tricks in a boot that I'm not super comfortable with because I don't use it very often, so that's a victory for me. I know a lot of people say just stick to the same setup constantly and never change it because you're going to be the best skater you can possibly be, but I have really bad ADHD, so I have to try different stuff all the time. That's why I'm always using different setups, different frames, different liners, different boots. But I keep going back to those damn Razor SLs, and they're still my only pain-free option. Although I am starting to get a little bit of Achilles pain on my right foot, because I think my Fatboy liners are completely broken in to the point where they're worn out because the cuff is a lot more floppy than it used to be. But, you know, it's been like probably 6 months of me using those liners almost every single day. That's probably more wear and tear than the average rider. As for these frames, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put my Create Originals on my factions and just use those. I like the Kaiser Fluid 4s, but they have extra height that I just don't need. And like I said before, the anti-rocker and the wheels stick further down, which allow for you to use bigger wheels, which I don't need because I don't use bigger wheels. I think I got like 57mm wheels on this right now. So the Create Originals are just perfect for me and my anti-rocker needs. And the FR Oysi frames are the perfect flat frames for me. I think I'm gonna stick with those two setups for the foreseeable future. I might skate these factions again tomorrow after I expand the toe box upwards, but I'm just happy that I didn't lose any tricks using them, because this is a much harder Royale angle, no doubt about it. The SLs are probably the easiest Royale. It's not that much easier, it's only a few degrees, but now that I actually bend my knees and I can get a boot down, I don't really need it to be easier, so the benefit doesn't really help me that much, I notice. Like, it doesn't feel any easier in the SLs anymore. When I first got to SLs, it was very obvious that it was really helping me get boot down. But now that I can get boot down in any setup for the most part, it's not a big deal at all. Like, even with flat frames, all you gotta do is bend your knees a little bit, push that ankle over. I know a lot of people say it's all in the knees and not in your ankles, but definitely plenty in the ankle. You can just see it. And let's be real, we're not all Yugen out here going like this. You can try, but that'll be in the future. I'm gonna try to get better and better and better at my Royales over time, so hopefully I can get my fully squatted Royales like this. Like, I know I could do this. Like, I can stand here for like a good amount of time, but doing that while balancing a grind and jumping into that position is the hard part. Like, maybe we need a small PVC P-rail session soon. Just dive as low to the ground as we possibly can. But with that being said, I'm gonna skate off for dramatic effect. Enjoy the recap.